How you guys doing? So, I wanted to jump right into it. I wanted to open up with my first post, simply touching on who can you trust when you come out here in this industry. Who can you trust? And I really don't want to come off as cynical or jaded. I really don't feel I am, but like my answer to the question is no one. I know that can seem a little dark, a little daunting, like how can you trust no one? What I mean by that is what I referred to before. It's a tough industry. So if you're making friends out here, acquaintances, chances are they're in the industry. They're going after the same things you are. And it becomes dicey when you guys both start chasing your goals. It's like, at what point do their goals and aspirations supersede yours? Like, at what turn will they take an opportunity that may fuck you over a little bit, or step over you, or take advantage of your trust? And again, this is just stuff I've learned. You can take this shit or not, but it's just real tough when you got people going after the same things, especially when there's so few opportunities. I've had people, even folks that offer to help, even that comes with limitations. Like somebody above you, they're comfortable helping you sometimes, as long as you still kind of remain in your spot. Like as soon as, you voice those aspirations and you start to build and become and put into a position where you could possibly overtake them or, outdo what they're doing, a lot of that shit, stops. People tend to watch out for themselves first. And I'm not saying you can't make friends. Of course you can make friends, you can make partners. It's going to happen. I'm saying protect yourself. You know what I mean? Protect your intellectual content. Protect your writings. If you need to get something in writing, if you're doing a partnership, do it. Because people can seem real cool. They can seem real friendly. And people are genuinely nice and good people. But even somebody that's genuinely nice and good, what happens when that opportunity arises, that may force them to compromise their loyalties to you or whatever project you're working on, or, I'm just saying it just happens. So yeah, that's kind of my advice, is to trust no one, in that regard. Again, make your partnerships, make your friendships. You're going to need them. But don't put 100% of your trust in somebody out here. Because this industry has a way of changing people. It's happened to me. There's people I've trusted with a lot. And I'm usually a hard person to, I don't trust people easily. But I've still been fooled out here by people that let me down and weren't who I thought they were. And it did hurt me. It hurt part of my, career development and stuff like that. So, I'm just saying it in the sense of protecting yourself. Listen, I've made a lot of friends who ain't here now, that didn't hang around. I made friends when things were going well, but when they weren't going well, them texts and calls and let's chill start to, decrease. And I started to notice the difference between somebody that was either trying to help or trying to be cool, as opposed to somebody that was finding an angle or an opportunity, or saw an opportunity in you, and a chance to use you or piggyback. And I think that's something you got to pay attention to. There's a difference between using resources and using somebody, or using people. And a lot of people don't really aren't able to distinguish between the two. And some people just don't care. when it comes to you. They see you more as a commodity as opposed to a person. So that's why I say you got to be careful. Anytime you meet somebody, anytime you're cool with somebody, running with somebody, you got to think, what's the chances if this person gets an opportunity to screw you over, to further their own career? What's the chances they would do that? You also have to be careful because that may be you. You got to look yourself in the mirror and say, how bad do I want this? If an opportunity comes for me, but I got to do such and such to someone else to step over them or get by or leave them or do whatever, use them, steal content because it gets you a step closer where you want to be. What's the chances you do that to someone else? So yeah, the people I'm talking about might be you. And that may get you a long way. Like I've seen people get quite a ways, doing that and using folks. But at what cost? I mean, at what cost? Is it worth the half what you're going for if you're somebody that can't be trusted and your character is shit? So that's where I'm coming from. There's really only one or two people out here that I trust like that, with my life type thing. Again, it's a cold business. Never get too comfortable or complacent with the people you know or the people around you. You never know when they might do something to compromise you or stab you in the back. And again, I don't want to be cynical. I don't want you to go into all your relationships and everybody you meet out here thinking they are this exact person. But you really got to protect yourself and assume they could be that type of person. So again, you got to protect your assets, protect whatever you're writing or your creations. If you got to deal with somebody to 50-50 it, as far as proceeds and stuff like that, man, just get it written down. Just put it on paper. Take, even that temptation out of play. So it's not something you even have to worry about. So yeah, in closing, I mean, only you know how well you know people. You got to make decisions and live with them. It's tough to go through and not trust folks. You will at some point. You're going to have to trust somebody to a degree to move forward. I'm just saying protect yourself, and tread lightly, because just because somebody's a good person doesn't mean they still can't let you down. I've seen it. I've experienced it. And, I try not to hold grudges. I know people have good hearts, but somebody gets an opportunity, that can change a lot. Or also if they get, their shit gets kickstarted, so their shit's moving at a higher rate, like than yours. Are they trying to pull you with them? Or all of a sudden the call stop and the text stop and all that shit stop. So yeah, just be careful. I guess that's the best way I can put it. When it comes to your trust, whose hands you're going to put your career in or, your future in. Be careful. But also, I'm sorry, I wanted to jump back in. But also, don't be that person. All right? Like, when somebody screws you over or, somebody you trust does you wrong, and it's going to happen, after so many times, you're going to think like, well, fuck it. It's clear everybody else is out here for themselves. So that's going to be my fucking attitude moving forward. Don't do that. Don't be the person other folks can't rely on and trust. Don't let the shit you experience or the people you experience that let you down change your character, and your values and shit like that. It's gonna be tough, but let them do them. And if that works for them, cool. But you don't want to succeed like that. You don't want to succeed by backstabbing and, leaving people behind and act like you don't know them and all this other shit. So that's my actual closing advice. You're going to run into people you can't trust. Again, that comes with the territory. Anytime there's something at stake of value to multiple people. But don't become that person, the two-faced one that can look in your eye and tell you a lie or tell you something knowing they got clear, an ulterior motive, or knowing they'll do the opposite if they ever get their chance. Just be real, man. Don't let those folks change who you are at your core. Because I feel like really that's where you've lost. No matter what success comes from it, like, you've lost in my book. So again, just be careful.